For anyone, I just have to ask you, for anyone out there nationally who's caricatured the president, what's Janelle Lamb's take on Donald Trump?
I actually love him. I think he is the most personable. Here's the difference. And Mark's dad actually had this quality too. They're an imposing, intimidating figure, but at the same time, when you're talking to them, they are listening to you.
Hmm.
I can't tell you how many politicians and
Yep.
important people I run into that when you're talking to them, they're looking over your shoulder, their eyes are looking over this way. You can tell that they are not
Yep.
listening. And I hate that.
Yep.
It's dismissive to me. I don't love it. Um, he doesn't do that. He
No.
listens to you
Yep.
when you're
Yep.
talking, and he's he's just he's just so different in person. And we say this
Yep.
all the time because he's coming to Arizona on the 17th. We'll be with him again then.
Oh,
Um, he just has a way of it being intimidating, but at the same time, so caring. You can tell that he cares about America and he wants it to succeed and he wants the people in America to succeed. And although maybe I don't love every decision he makes,
sure.
I think it's coming from the right place for the most part. I mean, I can't imagine being in the position he's in and having to make the decisions. And one thing we've learned in politics and in leadership of politics is when you yank on one little thread, sometimes you can't always see the other little threads that are it's going to start to pull as well. And so it's what the rookies have to figure out. You have to get burned by that a couple times until you understand like you have to really consider all threads when you
Right.
start pulling on something. It can have unintended consequences for other things. And so yeah, he's I think he's doing his best, and you're never going to please everybody. I
Yeah.
wish he'd do some things different, but honestly, on the whole, I love him.
You'll never get 100% on anything.
No,
But one thing, and
no, of
it's the
course
most
not.
confirm this to me, Janelle, most underrated thing about Trump, President Trump, is his love for his kids and grandkids and other
Yep,
people's kids and grandkids. I've heard story after story,
yep,
and he's going to love Easter with all those,
yep,
how many, 16 folks you're going to have there,
yep,
right?
yep. 10 adults and 6 kids.
Wow. Wow. But that's the most underrated thing, amongst other things. And when you said the listening thing, great business people do that. They're great
Yeah,
listeners, but then he processes and he
yeah,
executes from there. There was one politician, president, I won't, he'll go nameless, who did exactly what you're saying. He's that people would say he'd look you kind of in the eye or look at you and then make you think that you're the most important person in the world.
yep.
And then they just abandon you. They didn't know even know your name 10 minutes later. Well, to
Yeah, that's
offer,
the other thing. He remembers everybody.
that's
It's
right.
unbelievable.
Yep.
I mean, Mark is not a hard person to, you know, he's not hard to remember, but even like my kids, like he knows my kids. They've only met
Yep.
him once or twice. He really has an ability to process and retain
Sure.
information and,
Well, get this,
it's great.
Our mutual friend, Captain James McCormick, is a dear friend of Trump. And Trump, you'll love this. Trump, this is years ago. James has sons. He has a number of sons, and Trump gave him 6 Trump ties, one for him and one for all the kids. Seriously.
That's
And
awesome.
again, but that's the underrated thing. That's why the mainstream media has no credibility anymore. They don't show that side. I always say there's one side to Trump. And this, I remember Conrad Black wrote about this. It's the microphone side or the politics side or whatever. And then there's the other side. And nobody